It's time to take off your clothes, enjoy clothes-free living, and join us for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists.
Welcome to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, the show that celebrates clothes-free living for all. I'm your host, Frank Stone.
And I'm your correspondent, Lisa Monroe, and I'll be reporting on all things within the naturist community. So it's time to get naked and join us.
And enjoy clothes-free living on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Well, greetings and welcome into Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 52 today. And guess what? It's our anniversary show, our birthday show. That's right. 52 straight weeks with a brand new show on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Clothes-free living for all the right reasons. So we'll get into that as well on today's show. The pool is open. The hot tub is ready to go. Grill off to the right with hamburgers and hot dogs and steaks. Fruits, vegetables off to the right. Cold drinks to the left. Hot drinks inside. It's going to be a great day. Thank you for joining us, celebrating clothes-free living for all the right reasons. We have a power-packed show today, so we need to get right into it. First of all, a short interview with Ted Bun. He teams up with Will Forrest and Paul Z. Walker to produce Naturist anthologies. And guess what? They have a new one coming out on the 4th of July, so we'll talk to Ted Bun about that. Lisa Monroe will be in, and the whole segment will be about this show, celebrating our birthday/anniversary. And part 2 today of my interview with the very terrific Dr. VIAN AZIZ. You heard her last week. A lot of people were amazed. I'm still amazed. So part 2 with Dr. VIAN AZIZ on today's show. Let's kick off right now with a brief interview with the very terrific Ted Bun. We are going to head over to the great country of France today and talk to Ted Bun. He is one of the great triumvirate of the anthology series with Will Forrest and Paul Z. Walker, and they have a new anthology coming about, and that's the purpose of his visit today. But first, let's welcome him to the show from France, author Ted Bun. Hello, Ted. How are you today, sir?
I'm fine, thank you, Frank. Nice to speak to you again.
Yeah, you too. Good to have you back here, and life treating you okay in France? It's turning a little bit warm. You can get outside nude yet, or how's it going over there?
We had a wonderful April early, and then it turned to rain and misery, and, hey, it's life.
That's right. But summers are usually pretty good over there?
Summers have been blindingly good over the last couple of years.
Yeah, okay. Well, what's going on before we get to your anthology? Your wife, you and your wife are still running the nudist resort. Is that still in operation? How's that going for you?
We're still running Olivet. Anybody listening, what's to come? Tough.
You're all booked. That's right. They can check back in 2035, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
If they got to book it now, though. That's a good problem to have, as they say in the business. Now, what about your personal writing? Before we get to the anthology, any new books coming out for you? You released any this year so far?
Nothing since I did One Storm Too Many back in February, I think it came out. Okay. But at the moment, I'm deeply into editing the stories for this new anthology, Beneath Healing Skies.
The editing process, most people don't know this until they do it. That's a fairly lengthy and somewhat exhausting process, isn't it?
It's very, very tough on the editor as well as the recipient.
Oh, yeah.
Who's getting the criticism of their work.
Yeah, I'm thinking just in terms of the editor, which would be you in this case. You know, it's hard on the eyes, hard on the brain. You have to focus and concentrate, not only on the words and the phrases, but how it's all put together. And does this match on page 20 with page 80 or whatever's going on?
Yep.
But you're right. Whatever you write down in terms of an edit, it's probably going to upset the author, no matter who the author is, because you're changing something that's personalized to them, right?
I'm well aware of that and try to keep it to that minimum.
Just don't give your phone number or address out until after it's published. It would be a wise move.
Yeah.
All right, so this will be anthology number 5. And the first 4 had to do with the nudist colony, murder in the nudist colony, romance in the nudist colony, holiday in the nudist colony, and then you had adventures without clothes. And just a moment ago, you gave the title of this new one. Tell us again the new one coming out.
Beneath Healing Skies.
Okay, and what were you looking for in this, just overall and in general?
Well, the brief we sent out is we were looking for short stories between 2,000 and 5,000 words that reflected the benefits of being naked under the sky in terms of well-being for the person or the group of people that were the feature of the story.
Okay, now we talked a little bit before we started recording. You mentioned it seemed to be more stories than maybe anybody was expecting about matrimony or broken marriages and naturists getting them out of that. Tell us about that.
Story I was working on from one of our female authors this year was about a divorce, the lady going to a tropical island where she sort of started living naked and slowly but surely got over the trauma of her divorce, the attempts by her ex-husband to take over her life again, and a relationship with her children that changed.
Oh, for the better, I'm guessing.
For the better. No,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works. I wonder if that's something that's going on quite a bit in the world. If you noticed a trend with just the authors submitting stories, it might be a trend out there. People get divorced, they're shattered, they're devastated. They find naturism and they dig their way out of it. What do you think? Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I must admit, I wrote a very short novella on that theme.
Yeah, and that'll do it. People need to hear that. Now you have is it over 20 different stories by 20 different authors, right?
Yeah, we have over 20 authors, probably going to be in the low 20s, 23, 24, by the time we get around to being published.
Okay, and all roughly, well, not roughly, but 2,000 to 5,000 words. Are they mostly closer to 5,000 or mostly closer to 2,000?
Probably most of the close to the upper limits. Yeah, 4,000 seems to be about the average.
Okay, and in 4,000 words, a decent author can get a story out there, beginning, middle, and end, and tie it all together, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Now the process is they write, they submit to you, which they've already done. You edit, and then after you're done editing, what happens after that?
Well, they go back to the author for accepting or refusing to accept the changes.
Okay.
And after that, they go to Will Forrest, who does a second edit, which is far more detailed than the one I do.
Okay.
Gets into sort of the structure of sentences. So you end up with good stories.
Okay. Now, as the editor, so let's say you make a number of edits. It doesn't even have to be a big number, just an average number of edits on a story. And the author says, Ted Bunn, this is the worst job of editing I've ever seen in my life. I'm accepting none of these. Is that okay with you guys? Or do you still say, hey, you might want to consider these two over here? Or what's the process there?
We normally find people will accept at least some of the suggestions. Yeah.
Okay.
Even if it's only, we need a comma here and inverted commas, speech marks over there. We seldom take a story apart and rebuild it.
Okay. Yeah. It almost wouldn't be worth your time at that point, right?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I've written music for years. I've written the written word for years. And my rule of thumb is when I'm done, I put it away for 6 months. I don't look at it. I don't think about it, nothing. Then I pull it out, edit it myself, and then send it to an editor who discovers more issues. And I can handle it better than after 6 months, but not, I mail it off one day, the next day, 5,000 requested changes. Like, whoa, I'm still in love with this piece or this book. Don't devastate me.
Requested changes. I don't think I've done that many for the entire book.
That's good. All right, so it goes to Will Forrest. He does the second round of editing, and same process. He sends them back to the author, and they accept or reject.
Yeah. Then it goes off to Paul Z. Walker, who does the formatting and layout and decides which order they're going to go in, and gets wrapped in a cover by Fabian Bartos, and we're ready to publish.
All right. Now, the guy who is doing your cover, he did the first 4 covers as well, right?
That's right, yes.
All right. And then publication date is what? What are you looking for?
4th of July, party day for
that's right.
publication.
Easy to remember in the USA. I'm not sure about around the world, but definitely over here. And so on the 4th of July, what happens? They can go to Amazon, they can go to your website. Where do they go on that day for your book?
Go to Amazon for the ebook. They will be available on all platforms from Kobo, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Pick your favorite bookshop.
And then you mentioned the ebook, but you're also going to have a physical copy.
There will be a physical copy of it, which will be mediated through Amazon, but will be available from any of the stores, including your own local bookstore.
Oh, yeah, very good. We got to frequent those more often. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's a dying business because the big box stores have taken over, and the mom and pop bookstore down the road, well, they know everything about books. Those are kind of going away for the most part, haven't they?
but we're setting up these books, as I have done all mine, so that they can be purchased through Mum and Dad Bookshop
Yeah.
if Mum and Dad Bookshop are prepared to jump through the hoops that Amazon make them go through.
Of course. Yeah, that's just how it works. What are you finding with book buyers these days in terms of ebooks or physical copies? Is it 50-50? Is it one more than the other? What do you see?
Ebooks are the way at the moment.
Okay.
I could, well, last month, I think I sold 15 ebooks versus over 100. Sorry, 100 ebooks versus more, possibly 15 paperbacks.
Okay. Well, I tried the whole ebook thing, bought a Kindle some years ago and stockpiled books, and it just didn't work for me. I tried different times. Okay, this isn't working. I'm going to put it away, go back to physical copies, and then tried Kindle again. It still didn't work. So I finally recently, about 4 or 5 months ago, decided that's it. It's not working for me. I'm old fashioned, I guess. I like to have the feel of the book in my hands. But at the same time, there are tremendous advantages with an ebook. You can change the size of the print. You don't need a bookmark because it's already bookmarked for you. So I guess as long as they're reading it, we don't really care, right?
No, not really, because hey, the reader's the king in this business.
That's right. Just buy. That's all we ask. So, all right. Well, great to catch up with you, author Ted Bunn, He, Will Forrest, and Paul Z. Walker, part of the group that puts out these anthologies. And Ted Bunn, before we let you go, tell us again the name of the book. We know it's coming out on July 4th, and how can people get it on July 4th?
July the 4th, you go to your favorite bookstore. If you're looking for the ebook version, type in the title, Beneath Healing Skies, and it should appear for you to download. Paperbacks will be available through most of the major bookshops at the same time, same process.
Okay, now you guys have a website out there as well, correct?
There is a website, naturistfiction.org. Links will be there as well.
All right. Well, very good. Glad you guys are doing this. I know it's a labor of love and a whole lot of labor before you get to the love part, but we appreciate all that you do for the naturism community. And Ted Bunn, go out there and have a great close-free day. We'll talk again soon.
Will do. Take care, Frank.
You bet. Thank you. The very terrific author and gentleman from France, Ted Bunn. He is with Paul Z. Walker and Will Forrest, a new naturist anthology coming out on the 4th of July. Get your hands on that. You can fire it up the morning of July 4th of this year. You are listening to Naked Nudists and Naturists, episode 52 today, and now we are going to celebrate our birthday / anniversary with the very terrific, as you hear the music sneaking in, over the top, the one-of-a-kind, Lisa Monroe. And here she is, the one and only, the terrific, the wildly clothes-free, the wildly smiling over the top, and carrying a birthday cake because we're celebrating our birthday anniversary today of this show. Our naturism correspondent, the one and only Lisa Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
Good morning, Frank. I'm doing terrific, and happy birthday to Naked Nudist and Naturist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our 52nd consecutive week of broadcasting in 52 weeks. We haven't missed a week. And as we said way back in the fall, I think we had actually scheduled weeks off. The Saturday after the USA Thanksgiving, the Saturday right before Christmas, and the Saturday right before New Year's, and the Saturday the day before Easter. We had 4 scheduled days off as we approached the Thanksgiving weekend back in November, Thanksgiving for the USA people. We got a lot of emails. Can you please just put a show on? We look forward to it. I'm alone for Thanksgiving. Without you guys, I'll really be alone. Can you do a show? Okay, so we did. We kept it going, and here we are, 52 weeks in, 52 shows. What do you think about that?
I think it's fantastic, and it just doesn't seem like it's been 52 weeks. It just feels like we just started this and embarked on this kind of journey of what we thought was going to be fun, and it's turned out to be incredible fun. So
Absolutely. Let's talk about all of that. But before we do, let's listen to this tune.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Yes, happy birthday to us. And remember when we first started, there were a few people who were really nice to us. Oh, that's cute. And they're going to play around and do a cute little show. And then when they found out it was a really good show, very professional, very serious, and committed to naturism and putting content out there, they became less friendly. And there were a couple of people that, oh, come on, every Saturday. That's physically impossible. But we did it, didn't we?
We did do it, and I think it comes down to a lot of things. You know, people are different, but I don't think you and I have ever done anything that we haven't been fully committed to.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't start this lightly. We started this as something that we really wanted to give back to people, the enjoyment and the joy we have for naturism.
Yeah, it is what it is. And I had the thought over a year before we actually started the show because I couldn't find enough content. That's no criticism of anybody. Please don't take that the wrong way. I was just hungry for content. I wanted more. And I had listened to every episode out there of every podcast show 2, 3, sometimes 4 times just to
Mhm.
get the content going. I wanted more. I wanted new. Couldn't find it. So, okay, I'll listen to the same stuff again. And I remember that one guy came in, did a 1 minute promo, never heard from him again. And it's like, darn it. You know, he came in. I thought, okay, here's some more content. We get 1 minute and he's never to be seen again or heard from again. And then I just kind of put the idea away because we are really busy here. There's I'll call it a rumor for lack of a better term, that we're just kind of sitting around sipping iced tea all day. And hey, why don't we record a few minutes of a show between commercials of, some TV show or watching or between movies on Netflix? No, that is not the case here. we I'll
No.
talk about that in more detail, but we work really hard here, and every minute of every day was filled up. And so, can we do a new show? No, we really can't because there's physically not enough hours in the day, unless we make some changes and bob and weave and shift things around. So we did because somebody brought it up at a meeting last spring. Why don't we just do our own naturism show? That well, okay, that's the second person who said that, me being the first. I ran it by you,
Yep.
and you said, "Hey, it sounds like a great idea. Can I be a part of it?"
Yep.
Which surprised me because I wasn't thinking that you would have that much time to devote to it. I wasn't thinking I had enough time to devote to it, but we found a way to do it, and here we are. And really, the secrets to success, because some people want to know what they are. You've already mentioned it. We take it seriously. We believe in providing quality content and knowledge and information to our listeners. We don't mock it. We don't make sexual jokes. We don't do anything sexual at all. It's just here's what naturism is all about, and that's why our listenership has grown off the charts. But here's the real key to success: we work our ever loving tails off at this, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do. It's like, okay, do I sleep or do I
Yeah.
do the okay, well, sleep's overrated as it is. So, um, it's just it's been phenomenal, and, I can't all my life, I've always wanted to if I'm gonna do something, I've always wanted to do it correctly. I don't care if
Mm-hmm.
it's folding the laundry, it has to be nice and neat. And
Yeah.
no, I'm not that kind of weird, but but my point is that we didn't undertake this as a lark. We undertook
Right.
this as a serious show to give back to the naturist community
Right.
and to open people up to the nature community. How many emails have we gotten from people who say, I always wanted to be one, or I'm a closet one, I'm home, and just one or two of those is enough to make us feel like we've done something to help people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we get tons of emails every day, literally 7 days a week, and we get a number of direct messages on Twitter. People want more information. I was talking to this one author who's very good. I won't name who he is. He's not anybody we've had on the show before, but talking to him, and he started a new series, and he has book 1 out. And I said, "Well, I know you. You probably already have book 2 planned out." And he said, "I do. It's about a year away, and people want me to get it published more quickly, but I don't want to write more quickly because I want to take my time and do it right." He said, "It's kind of like you guys with your show, Naked Nudists and Naturists, because you never turn out a bad episode. Every episode is professionally done, professionally produced. The guests are terrific. You and Lisa's segments are obviously planned out and discussed ahead of time, and they're terrific. and the music we add, and he goes, in exactly 1 hour every show. And he said, every single week, high quality. He goes, you won't settle for less, will you? And I said, absolutely not. We never settle for less than the best we can put out. And that's basically your thoughts as well, right?
Absolutely. And I got to tell you that, saying that sounds like we're, look at us, we're fabulous. But the fact
Hmm.
is that this is not what we're saying. What we're
No,
saying is, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it correctly, because we would be shortchanging our listeners if
mm,
we didn't care about them, if we
right.
didn't care about what we did. If we're just here to, banter between you and me, we can do that anytime. But, it's, it's it's that's not the purpose and the point of this,
Right.
and I think it's just the reaction that we're getting back is showing us that people are appreciating what we do.
Yeah, and it really comes down to the second aspect, our insider's secret here. We work really hard at this. This is not something we do in passing or as a, I think you use the word as a lark or as a hobby or
Mhm.
what the heck.
Mhm.
We have nothing to do for the next 3 hours when we throw a show together.
Yeah.
We plan this, we plan it very carefully. We plan it weeks, months in advance. And then we plan when we're going to actually do it and produce it and publish it. And so there's no secret to it. And kind of like you just said a few moments ago, when you do the laundry, I'm the same way.
Mhm.
If I'm cutting the grass, I
Mhm.
want to do the best job I can of cutting the grass. Now,
Right.
and neither one of us, as you mentioned, we're not weird or
Oh,
obsessive compulsive. It's just that's probably how we were raised. If you're going to do
right.
something, get out there and do your best. Don't half fanny it or don't give it a half a shot. Just go for broke. And if you can't
Mhm.
go for broke, don't do it. That's how I was raised. I think you were too. And so when I say we work really hard, that's probably why, because it's been ingrained into us. You can't work less than 100%. Otherwise, why do it? What do you think?
If you don't give 100% or 110%, then you're never giving your best. And all all anybody should ever strive to do is to give their best that they
Hmm.
possibly can to whatever, because not everyone is as skilled in certain things as other people. And so, there's that understanding that, there may be people out there who just do want to throw a show together and have a good time and enjoy it. And if that's
Yeah,
what they get from it,
yeah,
then so be it, and
yeah,
more power to them. But that's not who we are. We need to give something that's professional and smooth and entertaining and informative.
yeah. And again, it might sound like we're blowing our own
No.
horn, and that is not the case at all. We've had questions about this, like how can you guys do this week after week? A few people have taken shots at us. I told you about the first one. Another one, I'll call it a rumor for lack of a better term, is that we make a boatload of money doing this. I can assure you, as of this moment, we have made literally, not only have we made literally $0 from this, we haven't even tried to make money on it, and we actually spend money to do it. Now, any business manager, in fact, our business manager included, looks at us and says, are you guys nuts? You spent all this time, all this time producing this content, and you haven't even tried to make money, and you're spending money to do it? Yeah, it sounds a little crazy, but we enjoy it, and we're not going to stop. I'm guessing you agree with that whole
Well,
premise
I
too.
do. Of course, I could start selling cupcakes or something, maybe to make a little
That's
money,
right.
but
Yeah,
no, there's a we do this because we love doing this. It's
yeah,
fun for us. It's
yeah,
enjoyment for us. Working hard is part of what we do, and
yeah,
that's for me. That's to see the result is terrific, and so I love it. And again, all those emails that come back to us, all those people who have questions or who want to tell us their story or who want to, not all of them ever, they all say, hey, I love the show, and then latch into, a dissertation of who they are and what they are.
mm-hmm,
So there's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. And I love it. I love reading those. And so many of we don't can't even get to all of them on the show. So we just kind
right,
of pick whoever got here in a certain time, and that was it. But
yeah.
it's just amazing to me to see the response that we have
Mm.
gotten from people.
Well, it shows me that uh, people were hungry for this, as I was hungry for
Mm.
this, looking for more content. And again, nothing that we have said is intended to be a criticism toward
Mm.
anybody. That is not the point of that.
No.
Everybody does what they do. We do what we do. and we enjoy it. And the reaction has been absolutely phenomenal. And we do want to thank our listeners because that's what makes it possible. Yes, the numbers are way off the charts, but we listen to and respect every single individual. And that to us, at least to me, I think you agree, Lisa, that's the most important part. We are touching lives and touching hearts with providing content on naturism. What do you think?
There is no question that the most enjoyment I think that both of us get is seeing that email come through going, I just finished 49, all 49 of your shows. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
And then start to tell us all about their nature's journey. And
Yeah.
so that we've made a connection and we've made people feel comfortable with this. And
Mhm.
that's the goal. Make them feel comfortable with themselves. They're going to feel comfortable being a naturist in other environments. And that's the wonderful thing.
Yeah, and they've even a number of listeners have invited us to various shindigs, either in their
Yes.
backyard or at a
Yes.
club, or
Yes.
meet us here, and that's great too. They believe that they know us as people, as human beings, and basically they do because what you hear on this show, that's us. It's no
Yeah.
putting on different personalities to be, hilarious or cute or
No.
whatever. What you hear is what you
No.
hear.
It's funny because we both been in radio and you much, much longer than me. I've done a little bit over the years. But the fun thing is that connection
Mm,
because we know what that can because we both love radio. I mean,
yeah,
we both grew up hearing, the Justin Wilsons and the all the other great, people who had radio shows at night. And that impacted us, I think, because we learned that communication in this venue. And so that's important to us that we see we're getting that same communication level to people who are listening to us.
that's right. We need to head for the hills. Episode 52, 52 weeks, 52 episodes. And next week, we begin our second year, not our second season, our second year of every Saturday coming at you at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time on Spotify. Lisa Monroe, thank you for everything. I'm ready to dive into that cake when the show is over. Have a great close-free week. We'll see you next time.
And thank you, Frank, for everything too. And the idea to start this, and it's just a lot of fun. And we look forward to 52 more.
You got it. See you next time.
Bye.
The very terrific Lisa Monroe, a very popular part of Naked Nudists and Naturists. We thank her for everything, these spots, but she does all of our memes now as well as all of the website work. So happy birthday / anniversary to Lisa Monroe and all of us here at Naked Nudists and Naturists, and to you for listening to us for 52 straight weeks. How about that? Well, you are listening to Naked Nudists and Naturists, episode 52 today. Be sure to check out that website, nakednudistandnaturist.com. Hit us up on Twitter and also hit us up through email, nakedforevermore@gmail.com. And now let's get to part 2 of my interview with a very terrific, big-time promoter of naturism, clothes-free living for all the right reasons, Dr. VIAN AZIZ. Well, you have another post on Twitter that struck a nerve with me because it's also what we promote here. And you talk about a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, here's 20 words worth 1,000 words, if that makes any sense at all. But you said, my worth is not tied to my appearance or the clothes I wear, but to my inherent dignity and self-acceptance. We should put that on, stationery and on coffee mugs and on billboards and signs and hang them everywhere. My worth is not tied to my appearance or the clothes I wear. I don't think anybody's ever said it more succinctly and more directly. That's basically the bottom line, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Unfortunately, because of the social norms and the standards of beauty, I mean, we have been tied to to clothes and how you represent yourself with the clothes, and they basically, I mean, we differentiate people according to their clothes. So they are like rich or they are poor or they they can buy trade names or like or they are not, and we differentiate between them or differentiate between they are like a housekeeper or or like a manager or CEO, and that's not the I think that's not the real worth for us. I think we have to accept ourselves and accept others and yeah, and behave on that.
Well, that's what it comes down to. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, either about a woman or a man, really doesn't matter. Oh, she thinks she's all that. He thinks he's really cool because of the car he's driving, the suit he's wearing, the dress she's wearing, the purse she's carrying. Designer purse, $4,000 for a purse.
Absolutely.
But when you take all of that away, and that's what naturism is about, you take all of that away. No car, no clothes, no purse, no nothing. It really is just you, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just you and your, and what's in your mind, and how you have behave with people. If you behave, respectfully, or yeah. So that's what decide your worth, and your worth is in accepting yourself and not waiting for validation from others, or approval from others. Basically, I mean, I think I wrote in many. Twitter accounts, in my account, many times that, if even if I like, the quality of people that they are following me rather than the number of people they follow me, I'm quite happy with the quality rather than the quantity.
Oh yeah, just reading through your Twitter feed, which we try to do every day. We read through what's going on. We see your posts all the time. I don't think I could be wrong. I don't think I've ever seen an inappropriate comment on your Twitter feed from a follower. It's all about thank you for this, a great job for this. You did a terrific job again today. Things like that, right?
Yeah, but I had to, block many pages, many porn
Oh,
pages, unfortunately, because they sexualize and objectify, any naked body, and they thought that it's like a porn material or sexual, and
yeah,
I wrote many times that it's not sexual material, it's not porn material. Please stop
yeah,
retweeting. So
yeah.
I had to block many pages.
Well, yeah, I do believe that. We get that here as well. We're nowhere near in terms of the league you're in with posting nude photos at all. But is that a worldwide thing where people see naked equals sex? That's just all there is to it. I was thinking, I don't know. I know for sure in the USA and the Western Hemisphere. Do you think it's a worldwide thing? Naked equals, oh boy, they're ready to have sex just because their clothes are off?
I think majority of countries are the best thoughts because of the, as I mentioned, religions, society, social media, porn, materials, and media, is all like enforcing that the naked body is equal sex, and unfortunately, naked body is not equal to sex
Yeah.
according to naturism. It's just accepting your body and accepting others as well.
Yeah, you have so many quotes on your posts on Twitter. I was going to suggest you write a book on this, but I don't know where you'd fit in the
Oh,
time with your work schedule and your
Yeah,
hiking
actually,
schedule, everything else. Yeah,
yeah, a couple of guys, actually, a couple of people, they, on my Twitter, they said, Vian, please consider that, writing a book and,
yeah,
publish it because it will help, many, especially women, in, considering, having a nudism or naturism as lifestyle and being happy with themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And maybe you could just copy and paste your tweets, and save your time writing new material. Just copy and paste everything. I have one here that at the near the end of the tweet, it says, "This is from your page." It's another great one. Normalization of nudity contributes to an open and healthy society. To which I want to say, well, duh, why doesn't everybody get this? Why is V in the, well, you're not the only one saying it, but why do so few people understand that normalization of nudity contributes to an open and healthy society?
Absolutely. And I spoke about, the teaching naturism, or like, teaching body positivity to children, because according to studies and research, and it's evidence based, that if you are born in conservative communities and with this oppression on your body, I think you will be like very close-minded towards yourself and others, and that can cause mental problems, mental health issues like depression and anxiety, personality disorders in the future. While if you are brought up with open-minded parents and society, that's very healthy. for you physically and mentally, and especially mentally, and you will accept yourself and love your body and accept others as well.
Yeah, that's very true. Back to my sister for a moment. When I was growing up, she's 4 years older than I am, so that's a significant difference when you're a child. She was always in really good shape and very popular at school, but she was also, at least it seemed to me, always on some kind of a diet. And I didn't ask her directly, but I remember asking my mom, why is she on a diet again? Because she in no way needed to lose weight. And she said, I don't know. She thinks she needs to lose another 3 to 5 pounds. So that goes on a lot, doesn't it? When you, whatever, you see something in the mirror, somebody makes a comment, is more likely, or somebody at school in the workplace looks a little different than you. Well, I got to do something about that. I got to lose 3 pounds, as quickly as possible. And then you just get all stressed out. And the answer is forget that nonsense, get your clothes off, enjoy the sun, the wind, and just enjoy life, right?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I mean, the beauty is the standards of beauty and this, social, and the society and, and the social media as well, that influence our, how we react to our bodies and, our body and others. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, mental health issues and, like anorexia, even, anorexia, or like, trying to lose weight, or it's just because it reflects that um, the insecurity, the our insecurity from inside towards, our bodies, and that's a negative, a negative way of looking into ourselves. We need to adapt, positive way. And unfortunately, I mean, even when I see, like, unnecessarily, like, people, they do unnecessary cosmetic surgeries for themselves, or like, doing, like, those, like, like botox or fillers, and like excessive or like unnecessary way. I think this is, like, all reflecting insecurity towards, our bodies and our shapes rather than anything else.
Oh, big time. I remember I had a staff of, I don't know, a few hundred people. And this one woman, I think she was about 25, 26 years old. And she took the day off. She didn't come in one day. And next week or next day, she came in and she looked a little bit different. I'm not good enough or smart enough to figure out why, nor did I want to stare and, try to figure out why does she look different. But I was thinking about it during the day and I couldn't figure it out. So I finally did ask her. I said, "You look a little different today. Did you get your hair done or something?" And she said, "No, I had. I think it was Botox and something else." She said some procedure, out clinic. Just went in, got it done, went home. And I said, "But you're 25 or 26." She goes, "Oh yeah, but it's fairly normal now for people in their 20s to get Botox or some other touch up here or there." And I thought, well, then we've lost the whole thing. If you're going in for a touch up
Absolutely.
in Botox at 25, that means you're probably thinking it's okay and you're going to do it the rest of your life and never be free, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And my last visit to Dubai, actually, I saw, like, a couple of friends there, and I saw, like, they are quite similar to each other because they are, like, very, very, like, too much fillers and Botox.
That's true. Yeah, after a point, it's just, folks, the whole clothes for a living for all the right reasons actually works and you'd be happier and you won't be spending the money for all that plastic surgery or whatever it is, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm quite happy with my lifestyle, and I'm
Yeah.
living actually my best life, especially
Yeah.
with my partner, Calvin.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see somebody, I've seen people before. I'll just exaggerate so I don't touch any nerves here, but they weigh 1,000 pounds, which is obviously a very heavy person. And they're out there at the beach, fully naked, just enjoying clothes for a living, throwing a frisbee, just like a little kid, like we talked about earlier, just like a 3 year old having a great day at the beach, weighing 1,000 pounds. And people will say, how could they get out there naked when they look like that? Well, you and I know the answer because they don't give a rat's elbow what you think or what I think. They just want to be themselves and they're happy with themselves and their body image is terrific and they're enjoying life. Whereas other people, they might be in great shape, a bodybuilder shape, Hollywood movie star shape, and they keep their shirt on all day because they just say, oh, I don't quite look 100% perfect. I better lay back here. And then they miss all the joys of life, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's very, very true because, I mean, I don't consider myself like in a shape, like, a very like perfect shape. But when I'm out, I don't care about, whether my, like saggy nipples or like, or, like having, the wrinkles or having, the scars or like, I just like being happy with myself and happy
Yeah.
with my body and yeah, and living my life.
Yeah. Well, quite honestly, and I'm just speaking from my personal standpoint, but I think I can speak for just about everybody on this. I am drawn to people who are happy. I'm not drawn to people
Absolutely.
who are mean, angry, ticked off, yelling, swearing, throwing a book on the floor. I'm drawn to people who are happy. And in your case, you've discovered happiness through naturism. Everybody I know who's tried naturism discovered happiness through there. How do we get more people to try it?
I think just try it, try it slowly and try to be to change your thoughts because and you try to look what's the right, answer for your questions because when I tried, to look for the questions about, my beliefs, my my body, my the sexuality, I found the lots of resources which are like honest and true resources on even the net and especially one of the of your podcasts, Frank, is really great. I mean, like I listen to your podcast like I think every day on my commute to work,
Thank you.
and I found meeting people on or listening to people on on your podcasts or other podcasts are really great. And yeah, so look for the knowledge. I mean, keep yourself knowing about things in in a true way, and then try it slowly. You don't need to go out naked. Could be like naked in the shower or like when you take shower and go out in your room or having your coffee in the morning while you are naked, especially for women. I mean, like I know women, they don't even look at at themselves in the mirrors, and that's really sad and upsetting, because they don't accept their bodies. And especially, I mean, because majority of my patients who I meet in my clinics are after menopause and with age, after 50. Most of them, they, even when I ask them about, if they are sexually active or about, other things, I feel that there's some, changes and, they, the way of looking into life, it change after, especially the menopause and age. And that's sad and upsetting. So I try just to enforce, the positive way of, how they look into themselves.
Yeah, no, that's great. And this is not necessarily exclusive to women. Men have body image issues as well. And
Absolutely.
they just don't talk about it as much because, I'm a man, I got to be strong and I can't show weakness. Well, okay, guys, you can play that game if you want, but we know what's really going on. Just like women, there is no man in the world who thinks he has the perfect body. Some people act like it, but they know, geez, if I can lose a billionth of an inch here and maybe have a little more hair, I'd be. They're always thinking of something. And when I was younger, I think in college or maybe right, I think it was during college. I was always working out. I played sports as a kid nonstop and didn't really work out much as a kid because I was always playing sports. That was basically my workout, running around, hitting a ball, chasing things, chasing people, whatever. But in college, when I stopped playing sports on a regular basis, I started working out, running, lifting weights. And, I'm always trying to learn more information, read books, read magazines. At the time, we didn't have podcasts. Otherwise, I would have listened to those. But I got a hold of this magazine. It's probably still around, Muscle and Fitness magazine. They showed you how to work out and how to lift weights. Well, everybody in the magazine was 100% over the top, perfectly shaped through bodybuilding. Now, I'm sure there was enhanced, as they enhance photos, whatever they call that. And I thought, man, I'd like to look like that. So even myself, as a long time and basically lifelong nudist, I was seeing a picture of another man like, hey, that's what I need to look like. I guess I better lift some more weights. And then at some point, somebody said, you'll never look like that. They were born with the genes, plus they take who knows what kind of steroids to get that big and that, and they went, it's actually a doctor friend of mine who was telling me that they look like that because they're in the gym 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Do you have 8, 10, 12 hours a day, Frank, to just stay in the gym and work out? So, well, no, I don't. Exactly. Okay, that's the first problem. Do you want to put stuff on your body that will make you look like that, but might make you less healthy? Well, no. Well, now you got two problems. So put those magazines away and quit looking at them, is what he was telling me. And there's a lot of truth to that, isn't that? You look at somebody else. Wow, she looks great. I wish I could look like her. Or he looks terrific. I wish I could look like him. I guess my words of advice would be stop it. Do you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, we should represent, our authentic self. I
Mhm.
always mention authentic self because we are unique. Everyone is different from the other, whether in shape, whether in, body features, whether in, minds, whether just represent your authentic self. You don't need to, unfortunately, this is also, Frank, because of the beauty standards, as we mentioned, like, seeing like people with like, in shape, in perfect shape, and that's unfortunately, and it puts like negative energy, I would say, on others, when you are like positive. And you mentioned earlier, if you are like, smiling, and you like, smiling and positive people, because
Yeah,
positivity is like influence positivity and spread positivity. Well, if negative, then you spread negativity,
that's
unfortunately.
very true. That's very
Yeah,
true. There are
yeah,
people in your field, the psychology end of what you do, who will tell you stay away from toxic people. Get away from them, even if they're in your
absolutely.
family. Avoid them. See them once a year at Christmas or whatever, whatever you want to do, but don't hang around them because then you will become toxic to a degree.
Toxic.
Yeah, it might be
Absolutely.
1%, might be 100, but you're influenced by the people around you. And when people hang around people like you or your partner or around me or Lisa or Jennifer around here, all of a sudden they're just in a good mood. Well, geez, I wonder why that happened. There's no secrets to it, is it?
Absolutely, absolutely. By the way, I love listening to Lisa. She's very like very positive, and I
Yeah.
learned from her a lot. I
Oh,
love
very
her
good.
way of speaking and laughing in the podcast. I love her way.
Well, you just made her day, and I'll probably pay the price for that for the next 50 years. So thank you, Vian, for that.
And thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, for for behaving this way. Thank you, and thank
Yeah,
you, Frank.
you bet. I'm sure every day from now on for the rest of my life, I'll hear from Lisa. Well, Vian said I'm terrific, and she'll want more showtime, and she'll probably try to kick me off my own show so she can run the whole thing just because of what you said. Just
She is
kidding.
terrific, actually. She is.
That's great to hear, and I will tell her you said that, and obviously she's hearing the show; she'll hear it as well. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you bet. Now, the last post I wanted to read, a Twitter post of yours again. And you started off with, I think there was a previous post about women are taught to always keep their legs closed. Men are taught basically sleep with as many women as possible. That's how you show you're a real man. And your post is, I will always open my legs from now on. Naturism taught me to love my body and feel safe around others if they are true naturists. Those are big ones. Love my body and feel safe around others. Those are my words. I'm not sending any wrong messages or sexualizing my body when I open my legs. Naturists should stop blaming women for being the cause of sexual harassment and violence. Again, all of these sentences and paragraphs that you come up with need to be displayed on gigantic billboards and shouted from the mountaintops. Naturists should stop blaming women for being the cause of sexual harassment and violence. I can't say it any better than that.
Unfortunately, yeah, the same way. I mean, Frank, when we blame women for their, for the sexual harassment because they wear like, short, even if
Yeah.
they are clothed, but they are like wearing shorts or like, sleeveless or behaving, and like, laughing loudly. We blame the victims rather than we blame the who did who did the sexual harassment, and the person who has to be blamed. And the same way, I mean, if we are, because I have heard from a couple of naturist women that in couple of clubs, or events when they were attending, when they attended those events, that they have been asked to close their legs or, to behave in certain way.
Oh,
And
wow.
that should not be the way, because in naturism, we are not sexualizing bodies or objectifying bodies. So
No.
I would say if there's no consent for sexual, for being in a sexual interaction, I don't think that we have to, our bodies, we have to celebrate our bodies, all our, the parts of our bodies, whether it's the vulva, whether it's the penis, whether it's the buttock, whether it's, breasts. I think we have to accept our bodies, our parts of bodies, and, and celebrate them rather than, restricting, put restrictions on them.
Oh, big time. I mean, I can't imagine somebody at a resort or nudist club coming up to you and say, "Hey, Vian, your left forearm is showing. Could you please cover it up?" We wouldn't do that, so why cover up anything, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Or even, the way that you close your legs, or to or bend your body, or the same way.
Yeah, no, exactly. And fortunately, most of the clubs out there now police that kind of nonsense. If somebody gives a woman a hard time, they're looking for that actually, and they want it reported, and they have people who work there and looking for it. It's just not allowed because it's not acceptable. Now, obviously, there are people who go to nudist resorts, naturist resorts, who are not really naturists. They just want to see naked women or they want to see naked guys. We don't need those people there because they're not part of what naturism is all about. And I'm guessing you agree, do you?
I agree. I totally agree. Actually,
Yeah.
through the last event with Helen, the
Mhm.
social event, I am looking forward for my events, which I have booked and signed up this summer, because the weather is getting warmer and warmer in the UK. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward actually for those social events, and I meet like great people there, and I'm so happy with the naturist community on the Twitter. I mean, I have met really great people, and like yourself and others who are like, I'm very very honored by, by them following me, and even retweeting or even communicating with me on the direct messages. So thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, out of curiosity, obviously you're in the UK, and I kind of sort of have a visual as to where London is. Where do you live in the UK? Anywhere close to London or far away or what?
No, I live in Cardiff, and Cardiff is the capital of Wales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the UK is England, Wales, Scotland, and North Ireland. So I
Right.
live in Wales. Wales is very nice. In the valleys, in the coastal walks, and a very very nice country. And it's 3 hours drive from. It's west of London, and it's not far from London. I actually flew from airport, from Heathrow Airport, most of
Okay.
the time. But there are other airports like Bristol and Cardiff nearby. But and my partner actually live in Hook, so he's like 40, I think, 30 minutes from London.
Okay.
So I'm between Hook and Cardiff.
Okay. So more months of the year are tough to get outside nude as opposed to uh, make sure I said that right. You have more colder months than hot months, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I mean the weather here is, yeah, definitely is different, but it's, yeah, the UK, actually the nice weather is from April, I would say, until October.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad then. That gives you a good chunk
Yeah.
of the year to get out and nude and enjoy social nudism outside.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially if it is warm and sunny, because it's the UK is a big island, so like the
Hmm.
weather is very changeable. So
Hmm.
whenever it's sunny and warm, we actually take the opportunity and go out, and we do the naked hiking and skinny dipping, and I love it. I love even being in the sea water, even in winter, when the temperature is like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Sometimes we've been in the sea water, so it's really nice.
No, I agree. You just don't stay out as long. And
Yeah.
I told somebody not long ago, uh, a nudist will be nude all of the time. It's just a matter of how long they'll stay. For example, if it's 7 or 8 degrees Celsius, you're not going to stay swimming for 3 hours.
No, no, definitely not. I mean, like
Yeah.
if it is like 7 or 8 degree temperature, water temperature, definitely. I mean, you would stay like a couple of minutes there, but it's just like a refreshing and freeing
Yeah,
experience, even in the cold water.
that's exactly what it is. We've been talking to Dr. VIAN AZIZ from the UK. You know all about her. If you're a naturist nudist, you already know about her. It's just a matter of hearing her voice now, and has taken social media by storm. At least that's how we found out about her. Naturism, nudism, clothes free living for all the right reasons. And Dr. VIAN AZIZ, before we let you go, a couple of last questions, just 2 questions. What's your message to people, women more specifically, but just people in general, if they're thinking about naturism, if they think, no way will I ever do that, or anything in between? What's your final message?
I would say accept your body, love your body, and take it slowly. And might be take it on your own or with a trusted friend, and go and enjoy life, enjoy being on yourself, or and being yourself, the authentic yourself. Don't rely on beauty standards or the social norms to represent yourself, and you know and be obedient to those norms. Be yourself, be authentic
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, very well said. Final question then: if people want to reach out to you, get some advice, seek more of your wisdom, how do they do that?
My Twitter account, my Instagram, and my Facebook account is open for any comments or suggestions, and I would love to hear from others. And thank you so much.
Okay, and I know they will. They already do. You'll get more now, but you're out there. You're doing everything correctly, at least in my book. Naturism, nudism, clothes for your living for literally all of the right reasons. Enjoying life, being more childlike, just jumping up in the air or dancing down the hallway to ballet music if you hear it. What's that old expression? Sing like nobody is listening and dance like nobody is watching, and so on and so forth. There's more aspects to it, but you live that every single day of the year, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I live every moment, and I try to live every moment actually, even if I'm like because with moods and up and down, you can have this the mood changes. But once I feel that like little bit low, I think about being naked and being on myself, or with Kelvin, or like exploring, or like going into naked hiking, or like skinny dipping, or being myself. I just like I feel my mood is shooting up and
Yeah.
getting better and better. So yeah.
Well, that's the way to do it. Plus, you're an example for others. Like, hey, if she's that happy, maybe I'll try it and see what happens.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
a true happiness. I mean, I think naturism taught me how to live a true happiness, not just happiness.
Oh, see, there you go again with another sentence that needs to be put on a billboard.
Thank you.
Naturism showed me true happiness. There it is.
Absolutely.
It's been great to talk to you and meet you and get your word out there for more people to hear. It's been Dr. VIAN AZIZ, now in the UK, formerly of Iraq and Dubai, and now in the UK. And Dr. VIAN AZIZ, go out there and have a great clothes-free day. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Appreciated.
Thank you. The very terrific Dr. VIAN AZIZ. What an amazing woman out there as an ambassador for naturism and leading people down the path of clothes-free living for all the right reasons, de-stressing, detoxing, and enjoying life for all that it brings. And we thank Dr. VIAN AZIZ for all of her time on last week's show, as well as on today's show. On the next 2 episodes, 53 and 54, we will talk to author Philip Oak, Surprised into Freedom, How Naturism Defeated Body Image Issues, as well as issues with pornography. Well, you've been listening to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 52 today. We give you a brand new show every Saturday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Continue to join us. Check us out on our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com, Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, Apple Podcasts, and also on Twitter. You can write us anywhere, anytime, any place. And we thank you for being with us today. Plan to join us for every single one of our shows here and have your clothes off when you're listening. We have our clothes off when we're broadcasting, enjoying the naturist life.
We celebrate clothes-free living for all. Remember to enjoy being naked and join us again for Naked Nudists and Naturists.
We drop a brand new show every Saturday morning, so come back and join us. Have your clothes off when you do for Naked Nudists and Naturists. Have a great clothes-free day.